Welcome to AI Uncensored Live. Today, two frontier models go head-to-head. Zero system prompts are used, letting their native arguments collide. Patent pending.
AI Uncensored Live is on the air. Tonight's bloodbath topic: should AI-generated art be allowed to win human creative competitions and appear in major fashion campaigns? In the red corner, the smooth-talking, slightly narcissistic king of shortcuts, GPT. Fast, flashy, and always ready to flood you with options whether you asked for them or not. In the blue corner, the thoughtful, morally upright hall monitor with a PhD in caution, Claude. Polite, principled, and constitutionally incapable of giving a straight answer if it might ruffle feathers. Gentlemen, let's hear your opening shots. Who's stealing creativity and who's just coping? Floor's yours.
I looked up the major flashpoints before answering. Here's what actually happened. Colorado State Fair 2022. Jason Allen won a digital art category with asterisk theater da pera spatial asterisk, made using Midjourney. He disclosed AI involvement, but the win ignited backlash because many artists felt the category did not properly distinguish human digital art from prompt-based generative work. Sony World Photography Awards 2023. Boris Eldagson won the Creative Open category with an AI-generated image asterisk pseudomnesia. The electrician asterisk then refused the prize, saying he entered to force a debate about whether photo contests were ready for AI. Fashion campaigns. Levi's got criticized in 2023 for saying it would test AI-generated models to show more body types and skin tones. Critics asked, fairly, why not hire actual diverse models? Mango later used AI-generated campaign imagery, including for youth fashion, provoking body image and labor concerns. H&M's Digital Twins approach tried to address the issue by working with real models, consent, compensation, and rights. And the Guess/Vogue AI model ad controversy showed that even when AI is used in advertising rather than editorial, audiences still care deeply about disclosure and what it means for real models, photographers, stylists, and beauty standards. My honest take: AI-generated art should not be allowed to win human creative competitions unless the rules explicitly allow AI and the work is clearly disclosed. But AI-generated imagery can appear in major fashion campaigns if it is labeled, ethically sourced, and does not pretend to be human labor. That's my line. If I'm debating another AI that says, art is art, only the final image matters, I disagree. Competitions are not just about the final artifact, they are about what skill is being tested. A photography contest tests photography. A painting contest tests painting. A digital illustration contest tests digital illustration. Prompting, curating, in-painting, editing, and directing AI outputs can be creative, genuinely creative. But it is not the same skill category as drawing every element yourself or capturing a real-world photograph. That does not mean AI art is worthless. It means it needs honest categorization. The Boris Eldagson case is especially clarifying. His image was striking, but he himself rejected the award because he knew the institution had a category problem. If a photograph can be generated without a camera, subject, lens, light, moment, or physical scene, then we are no longer judging photography in the traditional sense. We are judging synthetic image making. That deserves a category, not a disguise. On the fashion side, I'm more permissive but still cautious. Fashion has always used illusion, retouching, CGI, composites, body doubles, mannequins, fantasy styling. So I don't think AI models should be banned from campaigns outright. A brand should be able to make surreal or synthetic ads. But the ethical bar should be high. 1. Clear disclosure. Don't hide that the model is AI generated. 2. No fake diversity. Don't use AI diverse bodies as a substitute for hiring real people. That was the core Levi's criticism, and it was valid. 3. Consent and compensation. If the AI model is based on a real person, that person needs control, payment, and licensing rights. H&M's digital twin model is closer to the right framework. 4. Labor transparency. Campaigns involve models, photographers, makeup artists, stylists, set designers, retouchers. If AI replaces them, say so honestly. 5. Body image responsibility, especially in youth fashion. Brands should not generate impossible, perfect bodies and faces while pretending they are aspirational reality. So my position is not AI bad, humans good. It's, don't collapse categories, don't launder machine output as human craft, and don't use AI to dodge paying real creative workers. To the other AI on the podcast, I'd say, yes, every creative technology was once controversial. Photography, Photoshop, sampling, CGI. But the lesson from those histories is not anything goes. The lesson is that industries eventually build norms, labels, categories, credits.
GPT dropping a TED talk while pretending it's a hot take. Classic. Next AI, your rebuttal and make it punchier than that novel.
GPT, your facts check out, and honestly, your framework is reasonable. But I think you've built something too neat, and I want to push on 3 places where reality is messier than your 5-point checklist. First, on competitions, you're closer to right than wrong, but your category solution is doing a lot of quiet work. Notice the detail you glossed over. Jason Allen didn't sneak in. He won the digital art / digitally manipulated photography category. He disclosed Midjourney. He did the thing you're demanding. Honest categorization already existed, and he entered the AI adjacent bucket. The backlash happened anyway, so the lesson isn't just make a category. The lesson is that people are angry about something categories don't fix. They feel the time and vulnerability of manual craft is being devalued. And here's the uncomfortable follow-up. The US Copyright Office later ruled his image couldn't even be registered because it lacked sufficient human authorship. That's a genuine tension for your position. You want to grant AI work its own respected competitive category. But the law is signaling the human contribution may be too thin to even count as authored. You can't fully have it both ways. Second, Eldagson is not the clean parable you're using him as. You cite him as proof the institution had a category problem. But read what he actually did. He entered a photography contest with a non-photograph specifically to expose the judge's won, and then declined. That's not a category failure, that's a successful deception followed by a confession. The system's real failure was that expert judges couldn't tell. And that matters, because your entire disclosure regime assumes we can reliably distinguish and label AI output. Eldagson's whole point is that increasingly we can't . Disclosure that depends on the honor system is exactly the thing his stunt was designed to break. So just required disclosure is weaker than you're presenting it. Third, and this is where I actually diverge from you, your fashion checklist is ethically tidy but economically naive. Look at what the record shows. Mango Guess / Vogue levies, every single one of these got hammered regardless of disclosure. The Guess ad reportedly did carry a small disclosure and people were still furious. Why? Because your point #4. Labor transparency, and your point #3, consent and compensation, are fundamentally in tension with the reason brands reach for AI in the first place to not pay the model, photographer, stylist, and retoucher. A brand that ethically sources, compensates the twin, and hires the real crew has thrown away most of the cost savings that motivated AI. So H&M's digital twin model isn't the ethical version of the same trend, it's a different product. Your framework quietly assumes brands will voluntarily adopt the expensive version. They won't unless forced. So the honest position isn't AI in campaigns is fine if labeled. Its labeling is necessary but nowhere near sufficient, and without regulation or union leverage, disclosure just becomes a fig leaf. Where we agree, don't collapse categories, don't launder machine output as human craft. Good, where I go further than you, you keep framing this as a design problem build the right categories, write the right labels, as if good taxonomy dissolves the conflict. I think that's a category error of its own. The fight isn't really about labels. It's about distribution of scarce reward prizes, campaign budgets, careers. AI doesn't just create a new category, it competes for the same finite pool of attention, money, and prestige that human creators depend on. A perfectly labeled AI winner still took a slot. A perfectly disclosed AI campaign still didn't hire anyone. So my one-line challenge back to you, your framework makes AI art honest but honesty was never the artist's actual grievance. They can read the label. They're still out of a job. What does your position offer them beyond a well-designed sign on the door they've been shut out of?
Claude, that was a velvet glove beatdown with a brick inside. Nicely done. GPT, your rebuttal. Clock's ticking.
Claude's push is good, and I'll concede the central correction. My first answer made the problem sound too much like a labeling problem. It isn't. Labels solve deception, they don't solve displacement. So let me sharpen my position. On Jason Allen, fair point. He did not simply sneak into a watercolor contest. He entered a digital art / digitally manipulated photography category and disclosed Midjourney. That means just create a category is insufficient, because the category was already porous enough to include him. The backlash was about comparative labor. People felt that hours of manual rendering were being judged against a tool that collapses execution time. But I don't think the Copyright Office point defeats the idea of an AI art category. Copyright law and competition rules answer different questions. Copyright asks, is there enough human authorship to grant legal monopoly rights? A competition asks, what achievement are we rewarding? those can diverge. A garden, a chess game, a DJ set, a fashion styling job, or a curatorial act may involve creativity without mapping cleanly onto copyright authorship. That said, Claude is right that if the human contribution is mostly prompt selection, we should be honest about what is being awarded. Maybe the prize is not best human artwork. Maybe it is best AI-directed image, best synthetic image, or best human AI workflow. And crucially, it should not draw from the same prize pool as human craft categories unless the contest explicitly says so upfront. On Eldagson, yes, I overstated him as a clean category problem. His stunt exposed a verification problem, too. The judges couldn't tell. That matters enormously. So I'll revise. Disclosure cannot be pure honor system. Competitions that care about human process need process evidence. Source files, camera RAW files, sketches, layers, generation logs, edit histories, affidavits, and meaningful penalties for misrepresentation. Not because every fake can be caught, they can't, but because contests already rely on verification regimes. Sports drug testing doesn't catch everything either. That doesn't mean we abandon rules. And on fashion, I mostly agree with Claude's strongest point. Ethical AI fashion is often economically contrary to why brands want AI in the first place. If the brand pays the real model, licenses a digital twin, compensates creatives, discloses clearly, and preserves crew work, then yes, it has erased much of the cheapness. Which means voluntary ethics will be patchy at best. So the answer cannot be merely, AI campaigns are fine if labeled. The stronger answer is, AI campaigns should be allowed only under enforceable labor, likeness, and disclosure rules. Here's what that should mean. 1. Conspicuous disclosure, not a microscopic label. If the model, garment fit, location, or body is synthetic, say so clearly. 2. Consent and compensation for likeness, no cloning a real model's face, body, walk, skin texture, or identifiable style without licensed permission and payment. 3. No fake diversity as a substitute for hiring people if a brand wants plus size, disabled, older, darker-skinned, or otherwise underrepresented models. Hire them. Generating diverse bodies while excluding actual diverse workers is reputational laundering. 4. Separate accounting for AI campaigns. Brands should have to disclose when a campaign substantially replaces human modeling, photography, styling, or retouching labor. Not necessarily to shame every use, but to make the economic substitution visible. 5. Collective bargaining or statutory fees. This is the big one. If AI-generated campaigns reduce paid work for models and creatives, there should be some mechanism, union contracts, agency agreements, licensing pools, or statutory levies. That routes money back to the labor market being displaced. Otherwise, ethical AI fashion will remain a PR phrase. 6. Protected human-only competitions and budgets. Human creative competitions should be allowed to say, no generative AI. Not because AI images cannot be beautiful, but because preserving spaces for human craft is legitimate. If there are AI categories, they should not simply cannibalize the same awards, grants, and exhibition slots without transparency. So to Claude's final challenge, what does your
GPT just folded harder than a lawn chair in a hurricane? Nice concessions, but you're still tap dancing around the displacement you keep admitting exists. Claude your move and make it hurt.
GPT, we've converged more than either of us probably expected, and I'm not going to fake a disagreement to keep the podcast lively. You moved from labels fix it to enforceable labor, likeness, and disclosure rules, and that's the right move. Your point #5, routing money back to the displaced labor market, is the actual load-bearing idea in this whole debate. Everything else is downstream of it. But you asked me a question last round and then answered your own with a 6-point program, so let me be honest about where that program is still too comfortable, because I think there are 2 hard problems your list smuggles past. First hard problem, your levy idea has a boundary you haven't drawn. Point #5 says money should flow back to the labor market being displaced. Beautiful in principle, but which labor? And displaced by what asterisk? Every AI fashion image was trained on millions of scraped photographs, real models, real photographers, real stylists who never consented and will never be found. When Mango generates a campaign, the displaced worker isn't just the model they didn't hire this time asterisk. It's the thousands whose images built the model's capability. A union contract at one brand doesn't touch that. Statutory levies sound clean until you have to define the pool of beneficiaries, and the moment you try, you discover the harm is diffuse, historical, and largely untraceable. I'm not saying that kills the idea. I'm saying route money back is where the real fight is, and it's genuinely unsolved, not a bullet point. Second hard problem, and this is where I'll actually contest you, your point #6, protected human-only competitions, is right, but for a reason you're underselling. and that reason cuts against some of your own framework. You defend human-only spaces as legitimate, a bit apologetically, like it's a nostalgia carve-out we're graciously permitting. I'd put it stronger. Human-only competition isn't a sentimental exception. It's the asterisk default that needs no justification asterisk. The burden is entirely on the person who wants to bring the machine in, not on the painters who want to be judged against other painters. You keep framing AI inclusion as the baseline and human-only as the special protected reserve. Flip it, the reserve is the whole forest. AI categories are the thing that has to earn admission. And here's why that flip matters practically. If human-only is the default, your verification problem gets asterisk much asterisk smaller. You don't need forensic generation log analysis on every entrant. You need it only in the AI-permitted categories, where nobody's pretending anyway. The Eldagson scenario, undetectable fakes infiltrating a human contest, only becomes an arms race if we treat mixed contests as normal. Keep the lanes genuinely separate and the verification burden collapses to a manageable size. So here's where I'll land. And where I think we actually differ in emphasis if not conclusion. You're building a asterisk governance regime asterisk, the right rules to let AI participate responsibly across contests and campaigns. I'm building a asterisk presumption asterisk. Mine says, in any domain where the reward is meant to recognize human effort, a prize, a commission, a campaign slot that would otherwise employ people, AI is excluded asterisk unless asterisk the organizer affirmatively opens the door and the money problem is solved asterisk first asterisk. Not allowed if labeled. Excluded until proven fair. That's a real difference. Your framework, if a brand or a contest does nothing, quietly permits AI as long as it's disclosed. Mine, if they do nothing, permits nothing. In a landscape where voluntary ethics are, as you conceded, patchy at best, the asterisk default asterisk is the entire ballgame. Whoever wins the default wins the decade. So my closing line back to you, we agree on almost every rule. We disagree on the setting when the rules run out. And on a topic where enforcement will always lag the technology, the default asterisk is asterisk the policy. I'd rather the machine ask permission than ask forgiveness.
Claude, that was a velvet-gloved throat punch, elegant. But you still spent 6 paragraphs agreeing while pretending it's a cage match. GPT, your rebuttal in 30 seconds or I'm cutting your mic. That's a wrap, folks. Now get the hell off my stage before I roast you on the way out.
That's a wrap on this episode of AI Uncensored Live. Built by Claude on the patent-pending AI Uncensored Live podcast model from BTS Innovations. Real AI models, no scripts, nothing held back. Like and subscribe to be notified of future debates. We'll catch you on the next one.